What is up, y'all? Odeed, aka Big Jake here once again, and today we're gonna do a little experiment. So I see a lot of people say that you should either spritz or mop your barbecue when you're cooking it because it either A, helps rehydrate your meat, or B, gives it more flavor, or C, possibly both. So I got 2 racks of ribs here, and they're basically about the same size, and they're both St. Louis cut. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, get them seasoned up. We're gonna throw them on the Mac 2-Star General pellet smoker. We're gonna spritz one, and we're not gonna spritz the other, and we're gonna see if it makes any difference. Let's get the video started. All right, y'all, I got the ribs cut up St. Louis style. They are each 10 bones. That way they are pretty much even in length. They're about the same thickness. So basically I'm trying to make this as even as possible. Got some Big Jake's Dangle rub on there. We're now gonna put them in food saver bags, let them sit in the fridge for about 3 hours, and then we're gonna throw them on the Mac 2-Star General pellet grill at 250 degrees. All right, y'all, the ribs sat in the fridge for 3 hours in a food saver bag, and as you can see, the rub has permeated the meat nicely. I figured 3 hours would be enough time to get some of that rub into the meat, but not pull out too much of the moisture. All right, Mac 2-Star is running at 250 degrees. Let's go ahead and throw them on. All right, there we go, 250 degrees on the bottom rack. We're gonna let these run for an hour just so we can get that rub set on there really nice, and then we'll come back and we're only gonna spritz the one on the left. So we'll be back. All right, y'all, 1 hour in. Let's see what the ribs look like. Oh yeah, they're looking good so far. It looks like the rub has set on here. Got a nice crust on here, so let's go ahead and spritz just this rack over here on the left. By the way, I'm using a mixture of half water and half apple juice. The water is basically to help rehydrate the meat. Apple juice is for flavor. Let's see if it makes any difference. And we'll come back in another hour and we'll spritz them again. All right, y'all, 2 hours in. Let's see what they look like. Oh, they're looking good. Very, very nice. I don't know if I can see much difference just yet as far as which one looks more moist. Possibly the one that I spritz, actually. So maybe the spritz is working. Let's give this one on the left another spritz. And I'm also gonna flip them over and I'll show you why. All right, I flipped them over because as you can see, the fat has rendered off nicely from the bottom, and we want the same thing to happen on the top. All right, they're both flipped over. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one on the left another spritz. And I will say, as of right now, it looks like the one on the left, it looks juicier than the one that I have not spritzed, which is on the right. So we'll go for another hour and then come back. All right, y'all, we are at the 3 hour mark. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Nice color. They definitely are both moist. I don't know if I can really tell that one is more moist than the other. Maybe the one on the left we've been spritzing. So this is the one on the right that hasn't been spritzed. This is the one on the left. They look like they're about the same. One thing is for sure, they are ready to wrap. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap these. And when I wrap my ribs, what I do is I wrap them in foil with the mixture of half barbecue sauce and half water. Another thing I'd like to note is that the pullback on these is pretty far, so I think I'm only gonna wrap these for about 30 minutes because I do not want to overcook them. Let's go ahead and wrap them up. We will close the lid, let them cook for another 30 minutes, and I think I'm gonna take them off. They should be done after that. All right, y'all, I just took the ribs off. They are resting. Total cooking time was 3 hours, 45 minutes. I checked them after 3.5 hours and they needed a little bit longer, but I think they're now ready. So let's go ahead, put each of them on a cutting board. We'll cut into them and we'll see which ones are more juicy, which ones maybe are more tender, more flavorful, and see if that spritz made any difference. All right, this rack here is the rack that I spritzed. One thing I will note about this one is it's a little darker, and I'm assuming that's because the sugar in the apple juice caramelized. Here's the rack that I did not spritz, and looks like maybe it's slightly drier, just a bit. I don't know. The real proof obviously will be in the taste. So let's cut a couple of the ribs out and take a taste and see if we can tell the difference. All right, I'm gonna go with the not spritz first. Nice color on them. Look pretty good, fairly juicy. Let's take a taste. They're pretty moist. They're very nice and tender. Nice flavor from the rub, the smoke, everything else. Yeah, they basically taste like the ribs that I normally make. As you can see, like I always try to do, bite through tender. So in other words, it didn't come completely off the bone, but when you bite through, yes, the meat comes off the bone. All right, the moment of truth. Here is the one that I spritzed. Let's see if there's any flavor difference. Here's what it looks like. It does look like it's a little bit darker maybe, but I'd say the texture and the juiciness looks about the same. All right, let's taste it. I don't know, what do you think?
I do think the one that was spritzed had a little bit more of a moist taste. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. What do you think?
We'll try them again. My lady and I here are trying to figure it out. It's very close. So this is the spritzed rib. Here's not spritzed rib. Maybe ever so slightly the spritzed one, but not really night and day like you would think it would be. Now granted, I only spritzed it 3 times, so maybe you should spritz more than that. I don't really know. One more try. Definitely I'm gonna get full doing this. Just wanna make sure it's accurate. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I think a lot of it comes from the outside, the bark.
Oh really?
Yeah, the bark isn't as dry, so that first bite that you taste is moist on the outside, so
yeah.
It makes you think that it's moist all the way through.
That's very true. Yeah, I guess the outside is more moist, which makes it feel like the rest of it is moist. So yeah, I would say spritzing probably does help a little bit. Is it night and day? I don't know, I wouldn't say so. Now maybe if you're doing like a longer cook, say if you were doing like a brisket or a pork butt or something like that, it might help more. But like these 3 spritz, I don't know. I don't know if it would like make me go back to spritzing again or start spritzing or something like that. Because one thing you gotta remember is that every time you open the lid, if you're looking, you're not cooking. Yeah, I would say the ones that I spritzed were slightly more juicy. I don't think flavor-wise there was much difference.
No difference.
Yeah, no difference flavor-wise. So if you were in a competition or something like that, I would probably definitely spritz or keep spritzing. If you're cooking in your backyard and you want just that extra little bit there, then yeah, I would probably spritz. If not, I wouldn't say it's gonna like be a game changer or anything like that. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. One thing's for sure, the ribs came out pretty good. And of course, this is just my personal opinion and my lady's personal opinion. If you want to do this yourself, make your own video, go ahead, or even in the comments, let me know. Do you spritz? Do you not spritz? Do you feel like it makes a difference? One thing's for sure, this was fun, and I'm gonna do more experiments like this because it's just kind of cool to do and see how it ends up. Anyways, my name is Odeed and I'm out. Peace.